Welcome everyone to KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of high school sports, and you are watching this presentation of Davis Darts Basketball on Game Night Live Rewind presented by Heidemann and Associates and WGU. And on this pleasant Tuesday night tonight from Clearfield, Utah, the Clearfield Falcons, fighting for their veritable playoff lives, take on the Davis Darts, searching for their 21st win of the season. And alongside my broadcast partner, Alexander Timolev, I'll be Alexander Timolev. You're Nathan Thatcher. Thanks very much. Nathan, I turn to you. First thing I say is, we were talking about this on the way up here. It's a veritable playoff game for the Clearfield Falcons. 24th in the RPI. Granger falling close behind. They couldn't have asked for a tougher ask tonight than to get a win against the best team in the state.
That's exactly right. Like you said, the final two games are going to be a very tough challenge. But of course, they're on that bubble spot. They got to be fighting for their lives. That means they got to be focusing on fundamentals, working on the offensive rebounds, doing everything they can to perfect their game tonight against the Darts.
Clearfield, of course, coming off a 70-42 defeat against Fremont last Friday off the bye. You said it. Their last two games are going to be against Davis tonight, Farmington on Friday. Boy, if there's anything they have to do, it's like we talk about our keys to the game tonight. They're just going to have to come out and play loose.
Exactly. Yeah, you just got to play your game, and you got to play it right. Obviously, Davis has the talent to get it done. They only have one loss on the season. They also have some stars. Just from the looks of it, you can just see there's probably an increase of depth and talent compared to Clearfield. So obviously you just got to play your game the exactly right way that you want to do it. And I think Clearfield, obviously, like you said, if they're on the bubble, they're going to try their hardest to try and get this win tonight, even if it is against the number one team in the state.
The number one team in the state, Davis, comes into this 20-1. Since losing to Fremont, they've been on yet another winning streak. Boy, a veritable playoff game, Nathan. I don't think we could have asked for anything more than that.
That's exactly right. This one's it could be a good one, right? Still have Clearfield with a losing record, but like you said, it's one of the final few games of the season. They're going to be putting their all out on the court tonight. Let's see how it goes.
Off we go from Clearfield High School. Rex Sunderland will take the possession. We're having some issues with the stream here, so be patient with us. We're going to get the clock working here in just a second. As Sunderland can hit the first shot, the rebound chased down by Max Painter, and it'll be reset out front by Colby Sims. Into the corner, here's Henry Eyring. Here's Zach Fisher getting the start in place of Tate Garf tonight. And in the high post again, here's Painter. Eyring, wide open, three-pointer. Rattles out, Painter the offensive rebound. Turns around, goes back up and puts in the first basket.
Like I said, that's going to be the key to tonight's game, right? You got to be controlling the boards on both the offensive and the defensive sides. And obviously for a team like Clearfield, you got to be working harder on those offensive rebounds that Davis is going to try and get on their side.
That three is blocked, but a foul is called as Dawson Gardner was blocked on the three-point attempt. Clock reached 7:01 here in the arena. It's 2-0 in favor of Davis. Again, we remind you, our score bug is unofficial. We've been having some issues with the stream here. So we're going to try to keep this graphic as updated as we can. We're having some trouble with it right now as Clearfield puts the first basket for their night into the column. Second shot by Gardner is also on the way and too strong. One more coming for Dawson Gardner. And that one is short. The rebound is taken.
On a game like tonight, you got to be able to sink those free throws, right? When you're getting free opportunities at the line, you got to make sure that you capitalize on those opportunities.
Out front, here are the Darts. Rex Sunderland swinging to the corner, and an offensive foul is called in the paint against Zach Fisher.
That's a shame. That was a good pass, good find in the corner. Just wasn't able to convert because of the offensive foul.
Again, as Nathan just mentioned, Clearfield 4-15 on the season. They're 3-7, number 24 in the UHSAA RPI coming into this one. And they need a win in at least one of their final games to stave off of Granger, who's playing tonight at Taylorsville. And what could be a veritable playoff game there. Inside.
Oh,
and a
great
miss
find down low.
And a miss off the glass there from Braylon Carlson is, you just said it, Nathan, good find. Into the paint, batted away and stolen by Taggart Purcell. Up the floor come the Falcons. Into the corner, kick out, flyby, floater in the lane, that's left short, offensive rebound, back up and in. And the basket made there by Braylon Carlson, who missed the last opportunity. It's 3-2 in favor of Clearfield.
Clearfield did exactly what I said would be the keys to this game, right? Follow the fundamentals, the passing, find the open shot, and then, of course, you got to work on those offensive rebounds. Because, again, you have Davis coming in here. They're going to have some height. You got to crash after those misses that you're probably going to have, and they capitalize on that one to take the lead. But, of course, Davis just took it right back.
Yeah, Colby Sims just laid it in on the other end. It's 4-3 in favor of Davis. 5:22 left here in this first quarter as that pass is deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Clearfield.
You know, something I noticed in Davis's so lost this season was the absence of really looking at your man before the pass. A lot of their 10 turnovers in that game was just lazy passing, and we've seen some of that early in this game already. Of course, that time it was on Clearfield, but I just think that's going to be the key to whoever wins this game. You have to find the simple pass for the open man and open shot.
Purser on the outside, gets it back over to Church. Church tries to throw it into the corner and just threw it to an empty corner there. And it's out of bounds back to Davis. Remind you at home, in case you can't see the scoreboard right now, it's 4-3 with 5:02 left here in the first quarter. We're having some streaming issues here from Clearfield, so just be patient with us. We're going to try to get it working as soon as we can. Painter, tipped and stolen there by Dawson Gardner, and here comes Church. Gardner puts on the brakes, and they'll set it from out front. Here's Carlson. Gardner. Here's Peyton Cotter. Gardner again. Back out. Purser, open look, three-pointer. That's off the mark, and Sunderland snatches up the board. 4:18 left on our clock here in the first 8 minutes. Sims got it ripped away in a foul. It's going to be called.
You know, before that foul, Clearfield is playing a very clean defensive game so far. Only these first few minutes in the first quarter. They're making great reads on the guys that they're covering down low. Obviously, they've already been able to create some turnovers against Davis. That time, obviously, made the foul. But I love the hustle and the effort so far that we mentioned was going to be crucial for them to try and keep that spot in the bubble heading into playoff time.
Tate Garf is on the sideline, wanting to check in, but the officials will hold him, so we'll get it back in again. Pass deflected right to Eyring. They leave Sims wide open.
Great find in the corner. Absolutely great find. Obviously, you're going to have shooters with Davis being the #1 team in the state. Make sure to cover your men. That was a great tip at the beginning. But you got to make sure you cover at all times.
Church couldn't get there. Gets it back though from Sims. Puts on the brakes. Cotter down the baseline, cut off. Into the corner it comes, and Carlson couldn't control the pass, out of bounds. Back it goes to Davis with 3:41 left to go here in the first quarter. Tanner Hiddle, Austin Mitchell check in for the Falcons opposite Sawyer Cottrell. And Tate Garf for the Darts. 3:41 left here in the first quarter, 7-3 in favor of Davis.
Clearfield's got a nice height advantage with Mitchell down low. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
He's matched up against Maxwell Painter right now, but the kick goes to Garf for three. That's off the left rim, and the rebound captured by Gardner. 3:17 and counting left to go here in the first quarter. 7-3 in favor of the Darts. Around the screen. Gardner all the way in. Too strong off the glass.
They're coming up with some great plays. Coming up with some great plays on the offensive side of the ball. They're great at slowing it down. They just need to slow it down once they're able to put up the shot.
And there's Rex Sunderland in the corner hitting the three. And a timeout is signaled for by Curtis Hulse. Well, Nathan, what's your thoughts so far through the first few minutes? Because this has been a very interesting beginning. Nothing like the 28-2 first quarter that we saw back on January 21st.
Yeah, exactly. The Falcons got absolutely dominated in January's game, but tonight I mean, before that pass, they've been able to kind of slow things down on the play calling. What they need to do is be able to, once they find that open shot, make sure they slow it down and find the good shot and actually make it. They've had some good clean looks. They just hasn't been able to go in the basket. Unlike right now, Davis is seeming to find their stride on the offensive side.
Sawyer Cottrell in the paint, and a trip foul is called against Braylon Carlson. That'll be his first, team third. Or team second, rather, against the Falcons. It's 10-3 in favor of Davis. If you're just joining us, 227 rather is left here in the first quarter. Garf again. And the lead up to 10.
You got to be able to cover your man in the corners, right? Just like I said, Davis is going to be able to shoot from deep. That's what makes these great teams in Utah so good. They're able to shoot from deep. Davis makes them pay for the wide open three.
Gardner out front. Here's Mitchell, open look, three-pointer. He knocks it down. And the first basket in almost 5 minutes for the Falcons as they cut the lead down to 7. Garf into the paint, fouled again on the way through. We're going to call that against Lincoln Church, and it'll be 2 shots for the 6'4" Tate Garf. Appreciate the work of Bill Francis, our cameraman here, who's getting our clock and scoreboard up and running here. It's 13-6, 1:54 left here in the first quarter as Garf goes to the line and rattles home the first of 2.
I'd like to see what Clearfield can do on transition defense. It seems like the natural athletic ability of Davis, they're able to just run right down the floor, and players like Sutherland are able to find their open teammates in the corners. And obviously when they're driving to the basket, they're able to get some fouls and easy free throw shots. Let's see if Clearfield can be able to fix those mistakes coming up in these next few minutes.
15-6 is our score. 1:45 left here in the first quarter. Out front with it is Trace Hansen. Good spin to get away from Sunderland. Now he's trapped, gives it back to Hiddle. Mitchell tries it again. And Sunderland able to get the board. Cottrell over to Tate Garf. Maxwell Painter with it out front. Now back to Garf again. Gets the screen. Nice pick and roll inside. And the pass deflected by Trace Hansen as Painter tried to find Cottrell in the corner. It'll stay here with 1:16 left here in the quarter.
Great read by Hansen there on the pass down to the corner. It seems like they're loving that shot down there. Let's see if Clearfield can be able to take advantage on defense. Again, you can just see a natural difference between the two different teams, types of players they have on the court right now. Clearfield just needs to play fundamental basketball.
What a great find off the inbound there to Sawyer Cottrell. And he's got his first points of the game, and it's 17-6 with 1:05 to go here in the first quarter. Carlson out front. Gardner cross court into the corner. Hiddle drives down to the paint, kicks it out. And a double dribble called against Dawson Gardner.
You know, you can't have turnovers like that when you're playing against a team like Davis. And just like we said, at this point in the season, everything has to be played with a purpose. Clearfield is seemingly breaking down on offense right now as Davis is just starting to take control just like they did in their first matchup.
But the score is nothing like their first matchup. It's 17-6 and rather than 28-2. Tate Garf open look three-pointer leaves that one short. Painter tips it. Mitchell gets it. And a reach-in foul called against Sawyer Cottrell with 27 8/10 left here in the first quarter. Now, Nathan, you'd have to think, if Clearfield could keep this where it is right now for most of the game, they might have a chance.
Yeah, exactly. I think especially right now, as of right now, before the rule change, there is no shot clock, right? Find an open shot before the end of the first quarter, and you can be able to pull it within 10, which I think is very doable for this Falcons team.
Trace Hansen does exactly that. A 9-point lead for Davis with 2 and with 1. Sunderland pulls up for 3. Left it short off the front of the rim. That's the end of the first 8 minutes. So in case people are wondering why we're talking through the commercial break when we normally would be out of break right now, like we said, we're having streaming issues right now, so we're doing everything in our power to keep you as updated as we can. It's 17-8 in favor of Davis as we start the second 8 minutes. Here's Cotter, back to Hansen. Hansen, nice pass inside, and Mitchell with the finish off the glass. And the Falcons back within 7 again.
We saw some early pressure there at the top of the key. Clearfield was able to slow it down and find the easy pass down low for the wide open layup.
Cottrell leaves that short. Rebound by Purser. Here comes Hiddle. Sims in pursuit from behind. Hiddle goes through all of them. Back to Purser. Might have got away with a travel down there in the corner, but again, it comes back out to Hiddle. In the high post, here's Peyton Cotter. Looks again, turnover. There's Sims getting his hand in the passing lane. Sims into the corner, Cottrell, another three. Too long, rebound Purser. With 7 minutes to go, Clearfield with a chance to cut the lead inside of 7.
Great rebound there by Clearfield. On the last offensive possession, Mitchell had a wide open three, but his teammate wasn't able to find him. Let's see if he can try and contribute more to this Falcons offense.
Trace Hansen out front. Here's Peyton Cotter. Hansen drives, stripped, out of bounds. Davis ball. And if I got my count right, Nathan, that's the 6th turnover already by Clearfield. And you just talked about it, just touched on it earlier. That is what is keeping the Davis Darts at arm's length from the Clearfield Falcons right now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You got to keep it simple if you're the lower team, right? You can't make it fancy. You just got to find the open man, set screens up, work the plays out that your coach has drawn up for you. You'll be able to find those open shots just like they had with Mitchell a few possessions ago.
Cottrell out front, here's Sunderland. Against Cotter, inside, no, and a foul is called against Austin Mitchell. It's a shooting foul, so it'll be 2 shots, 14 foul on Clearfield with 6:21 to go here in the first half.
You know, I've watched a good amount of Utah high school basketball in my days, and I've been able to notice the difference between these players that stick out and the players that blend in. Sunderland is one of those players that really sticks out to me because of his ability of when he attacks the basket, he's at pure athleticism to try and be able to get that ball into the basket. I'm an Olympus alumni, right? You know Olympus is really known for basketball. Davis was actually to beat the Titans. They were able to beat the Titans earlier in the season. Sunderland, a huge part of that. I just think he's going to be a key player to watch in tonight's matchup.
Sunderland went 1 for 2 there. It's 18-10 in favor of Davis with 6:14 and counting left to go here in the first half. And we're going to get a hip check called against Sawyer Cottrell out on the perimeter.
Sawyer's got to watch those fouls. I think he's already got 2 right now in the game.
Cotter to trigger from the sideline. Looks. Dangerous pass, and boy, got away with it as Sunderland bails out Hansen with the foul. That's already the 16th foul called against the Davis Darts here.
Yeah, you see on the Falcons side, they're having to work with turnovers, and on the Dart side, they're working with fouls. So we've got not necessarily the cleanest game you've ever watched, but both teams struggling with different aspects right now.
In the corner, here's Purser. Purser goes down inside against Cole Mullen. Block. Out of bounds. It'll stay here. 5:53 reading on the clock here.
That one you just got to recognize the matchup and realize that probably wasn't the best shot that he could have gone for, obviously, with the guy that's defending him. You got to, like I said again, look for these open shots with great opportunities.
Purser will yank it back out. And on the dribble handoff, here's Trace Hansen. Falcons have not had a field goal in almost 4 minutes, bridging the first and second quarters. Here's Gardner, back to Peyton Cotter, got it stripped and it's taken away. And it's stolen right back by Hansen. Hansen goes up strong, can't get it to go, and Eyrig gets the board. A missed opportunity there for Clearfield. 5:15 and counting left here in the second quarter. Sunderland fakes, drives, 6-footer, air ball, and Cotter with the rebound.
Let's see if the Falcons can capitalize right here.
5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. 18-10 our score in favor of Davis. Gardner in the post, gets around Mullen, jump hook, too strong, rebound there by Cole Mullen. And here comes Sunderland up the floor. And we're gonna get a blocking foul called against Trace Hansen. That'll be the 15th foul against Clearfield. With 4 minutes 37 left here in the first half. Again, we apologize for all the issues we've been having with our broadcast. We've been having streaming issues, and we've also been having some scoreboard issues. And some of the players right now are having shooting issues as Trace Hansen touched it out of bounds. It'll go back to Davis.
That tip looked a little debatable. Hansen's trying to refute the call, but still going to stay with the darts here on this side.
Sunderland behind the screen. Oh, right by down the lane, count it, and the contact. What a play by Rex Sunderland.
That's what I said, just like I was mentioning before, there's the difference between the great players and the good players. Sunderland just proved that once again by cutting the basket, getting it, and the foul.
A great hesitation move by the captain to get right to the cup. And it's 20-10 here with 4 minutes and 24 seconds left here in the first half.
Let's see if Davis can pull away here and try and make it the game that most people expected it to be with a little under 5 minutes left to go in the first half.
And give credit to the Falcons. They've kept it close so far. They've really made the Darts have to play their game. That pass is deflected and stolen by Eyring. Up the floor, Sunderland puts on the brakes. Into the paint, Painter couldn't control the pass. Got it back though to Sims, drives inside, stripped there, and now the Falcons could have numbers. Gardner down the lane! Right around Henry Eyring! And it's back to a 9-point game again.
So far, we've seen Clearfield being taken advantage of in the transition offense. That time, they're able to capitalize on offense and get the easy basket at the cup.
Colby Sims cannot answer back. Painter the board. That's one of the things that Davis drove Syracuse mad with last Tuesday in their game, creating mayhem on the offensive glass. Henry Eyring making mayhem down on the baseline with the reverse.
That's why when you're the underdog in a basketball game, you have to control the glass on both sides of the ball, especially on the defensive side. You have to make sure that they don't get any second chance points. The Darts made them pay on that turn of the ball.
And the Falcons made the Darts pay on the other end defensively with a great slip from Hansen to find Braylon Carlson. As Austin Mitchell gets set to check back in for the Falcons. 3 minutes and 4 left here in the first half. It's a 23-12 game. Carlson will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. And his first one is too strong. We'd like to remind you, KSL Game Night Live Rewind will be your home for the 2022 UHSAA 6A Boys Basketball Playoffs. Coverage starts next Wednesday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. across KSLSports.com, or you can tune in on social media and on YouTube. As Carlson goes 1 for 2, it's 23-13 in favor of Davis. With 2 minutes left here in the first half. The largest lead for the Davis Darts, if you can believe it, has only been 13 points. And by many standards, Nathan, I don't think this is what many people thought we'd see.
No, I don't think it is at all. Obviously, Clearfield is trying to keep this as close as possible. They're trying to get a win out of this one at home. Davis, they've been able to have some good looks, not able to convert. I think Sunderland's the difference and the reason that they have a 10-point lead right now.
And the other difference is they're keeping themselves in it with turnovers. Inside, Austin Mitchell, balls off the rim, back up strong, count it, and one!
Mitchell is by far the best player for Clearfield in this first half so far. He's able to find those open looks, and not only that, just like I said, you need to find those boards, especially on the offensive side. He gets his own rebound, and he's able to put it back in for 2 and the foul. Great find that time.
Mitchell will head to the line. The 17th foul called against the Davis Darts. Free throws rest of the way as the free throw rims out. 2:22 left here in the first half. 23-15 in favor of Davis. I don't think that's words I would have thought I would have said at the start of the night.
Let's see if Davis can try and extend that lead once again. What are they going to do? What have they drawn up on this offensive side of the ball? Clearfield is bringing the pressure. They're doing exactly what they want to do. Put it up at the top of the key and make sure that they can try and defend down low when they try and get to the cup. But obviously they're getting some good looks from three.
And there it is right there, Colby Sims, a much-needed basket for the Davis Darts as the lead goes back up to 11 with 1:44 to go here in the first half.
Sims has had great looks over on this right side of the court. Whether it's out inside the three mid-range, he's been able to find that open space. Clearfield needs to be able to close that one out especially.
Regular starting five back on the floor right now. Sands, Rex Sunderland right now for the Davis Darts. Hansen into the corner. Here's Tanner Hiddle. And lost control of it. Eyring tries to start the break. Sims almost got it taken away. Body's on the floor. And it will stay here as we approach 1 minute to go. Officially 1:05. Colby Sims into the post. Nice pass. Painter can't get control of it. Goes back up. And we're going to get a travel. Oh no, we're going to get a foul. It looked like there was a lot of arm on that one. Austin Mitchell gets called for it. Doesn't matter. It's going to be 1-1 anyway for Davis.
There was a lot of contact down low, right? Immediately thought it could be a travel, but of course someone got a slap on the arm. He's able to go to the line. Let's see if they can try and extend this lead once again. They're already up 11. Both teams not really having the greatest of times at the free throw line. But let's see if Davis can try and convert right here.
Taggart Purser checks back in for Clearfield with 56.3 left here in the first half. Alexander Tumulip and Nathan Thatcher with you here at Clearfield High School. In case you're barely joining us from all the streaming issues we've been having, as the front end of the 1-1 by Painter is no good, and the Falcons with yet another chance to get this within single digits again. Here's Hansen out front. Both teams are in the bonus. And the pass is stolen away by Painter. Nice toss ahead. Fisher goes all the way in, up and under. And he gets it, plus the foul. What a play by Zach Fisher, and an even better pass, Nathan, to kick off the break by Max Painter.
Yeah, that's the pure athleticism that the Darts are showing off, and that I think they're going to show off come postseason time. Great find in transition, especially as time is winding down in the second quarter.
Fisher misses the free throw, as the Falcons will have one more chance at it before the half. Again, both teams are in the bonus. No more fouls on either side. Clock down to 16. Gardner doubled out front. Pass high, stolen away. And here come the Darts again. Sims, extra pass. Garth back to Sims for three. Yahtzee! 2 seconds and one. That's the end of the first half, as Hiddle could not put it into the buzzer. What a second quarter there, Nathan, for Clearfield, or for Davis. They get exactly what they needed at the end of that quarter.
Exactly right. They got those shots, open looks, especially from deep. I think the one difference that they're going to need to create and change in the second half is going to obviously come from the pitch stripe. They need to be able to convert. Once they get those and ones, they had two beautiful and ones in the second quarter. Just weren't able to convert at the stripe, but great finds at the end of the quarter. Obviously now up by more than double what Clearfield has scored, 31-15 at the end of the first half.
Ready to start the third quarter. Underway here. Again, we're using our old scoreboard here at Clearfield. We were having some issues all night with our actual scoreboard. But Max Painter having no issue there with Taggart Purser. And this is now the largest lead Davis has had tonight. It's 18.
That's just a great, simple find down low. Post him up, get it right in the basket. Great look that time by Painter.
Church. Out front now, here's Carlson. Back to Gardner. Church drives against Sunderland, back off the baseline, here's Purser. That's a good sign if you're Clearfield to get that open look and knock it down.
Two great offensive possessions by both teams to start out this second half. Looking forward to what we see coming up.
33-17 with 7 minutes left here in the third quarter. Out front, here's Eyrig. And we're going to get a foul in the low post. A blocking foul called against Braylon Carlson. And that is the first foul against Clearfield here in the second half.
Players like Sunderland are going to try and create space. You got to watch that arm when he's going to try and extend it a little bit.
Great steal there by Tanner Hiddle. Here he comes against Sunderland. Goes up, flyby. And Hiddle gets hit hard by Sunderland. Unfortunately, I don't think there's anything really that the 5'8" Hiddle could do about the 6'4" Sunderland going over the top of him.
That one's always dangerous when you stop right at the basket in transition. You're going to have a guy coming full speed almost all the time. Dangerous move right there by Hiddle, but luckily it seems like everyone's okay after that collision.
Tanner Hiddle to the line. Foul against Rex Sunderland, his first, and Hiddle's first free throw is too strong.
Got to be able to capitalize at the pitch line. When you have some good looks, obviously at the free throw line when nobody is contesting, you got to be able to make sure that you make those.
Yeah, 2 of 6 in the first half from the free throw line there, Nathan. That's 2 of 7 now with Hiddle missing the first. Now 3 of 8 as Hiddle goes 1 for 2. And the obligatory video game noise. All of the Utah Jazz here at Clearfield. 6.5 to go. Sunderland again can't get it to go. Tip up and in by Max Painter.
That's that offensive rebound we were talking about earlier. Painter's able to get the miss of Sunderland, put it right back in the cup for an easy 2.
Hansen now out front against the much taller Sunderland. What's on the brakes, gives it back over. Now here is Braylon Carlson. Now we're going to get a foul. A trip called against Zach Fisher. With 6:11 left to go here in the third. Falcons trail by 17 as Austin Mitchell comes back in. Inbound will come from the baseline, Trace Hansen. And out front it comes here to Gardner. Across it comes now. Here's Carlson matched up against Fisher. Gardner against Sunderland. Backs him down, kicks it out. Hansen, open look, three-pointer. Bingo! A huge 3 for the Clearfield Falcons. Just their second of the night, and both of them will come from Trace Hansen.
Yeah, you got to be able to shoot from deep, especially in high school basketball. There's no shot clock. Three-pointers are the difference.
Offensive foul called against Maxwell Painter with 5.5 minutes to go.
Falcons got some momentum on their side. Let's see if they can capitalize on it. Obviously, they're down 14. That doesn't mean anything. You got the crowd behind you. Now you got to make sure you capitalize on that on the offensive side of the ball.
We'll bring you up to date on some of the other big games that are going on here in just a few moments. For those tuning in, over on KSLSports.com's GNL Rewind Mainstream #1, Bingham is up by 2 against Copper Hills with under 3 to go in the third quarter. And Nathan, that is a biggie for potentially what could be the #1 seed on the line here for the Bingham Miners.
Yeah, obviously that's going to be one that has giant implications come playoff time. But of course, we got one right here as well, right? Like we've been talking about, we've got a team on the bubble, another team competing for a #1 seed. There's a lot of fun games that we got to look forward to this coming week.
All top 4 teams in the UHSAA final hourly RPI are in action tonight. #1 Davis is in action here. #2 Bingham is playing at #5 Copper Hills. #3 Pleasant Grove is playing against Skyridge. And #4 Corner Canyon is up against Lone Peak tonight. So big games across the entire 6A classification tonight. Meanwhile, 5 minutes to go here, 35-21 in favor of Davis. The Falcons have kept it well within striking distance for most of the night. Hiddle in the corner. Mitchell for three. 11 points the deficit.
They're closing it in, closing the gap. That's what you need to do. Play it nice and slow. Get your shots. Mitchell's able to capitalize in the corner.
Oh, what a great stop and score there for Colby Sims. He's got 13 to lead Davis. And it's back to a 13-point game with under 4.5 to go here in the third. The closest Clearfield has been 9 points when it was 17-8 back in the first quarter. Carlson back to Hansen. 4 minutes to go. Gardner off the dribble drive, comes to a stop. Inside, Mitchell! Tipped out of bounds, it'll stay here.
I love the pacing of the Falcons right now, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Mitchell's been able to be a key part of this little run that the Falcons are having against Davis right now. I just think the movement, the passing, everything is simplistic, just like the game is supposed to be at this level, right? There's no shot clock. It's not 30 seconds, it's not 24. You have time to try and find the good shot. Falcons are taking control of that option.
Into the corner, Garth back to Eyrig. Sees an open lane, into the post. Back out, Sunderland to answer. Yes, he certainly does.
He's a difference maker. That's what he is. Able to capitalize on the open three to put them back up by 14.
Back up to 14. As Nathan just mentioned, that pass deflected and stolen. Sunderland all by himself.
Falcons were having a little bit of a push there at the beginning of the third, and now Davis is coming right back and saying, you know what, you punch, we'll punch right back.
42-26 in favor of the Davis Darts. Gardner left that one short. Out of bounds it goes, back to Davis. Also want to bring you up to date on what's going on over at Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove is leading Skyridge 29-23. You can catch that game over on KSLSports.com's Game Night Live Rewind #2 stream. Again, we want to apologize. We've been having a lot of issues with our stream all night, but we're making it work, and that's the key thing. Garf, spot up. Can't hit the three. And here comes Carlson in transition. Puts on the brakes, drives into the paint. Garf gets his hand in there. And we're going to get a foul.
Interesting. I thought that was going to be maybe a jump ball right there, but they're going to call a foul instead on the defense.
Yeah, agree with you on that one, Nathan. I thought that was going to be a jump ball. Well, it wouldn't have mattered. The possession arrow would have stayed with Clearfield anyway. With 2:38 left here in the third, 42-26 in favor of Davis.
They seem to have struggled a little bit on these inbound plays, trying to make their system work a little bit. Seems to be similar every time. Let's see if they can get it in.
They do. Carlson can't convert. And Cottrell gets the rebound. Here comes Garf in transition. Shovels it to Cottrell. Gets the screen from Sunderland. Out. Sims, open look, three-pointer. 45-26, and this now the largest lead for Davis with 2:17 to go here in the third.
This is what's going to separate the great teams, right? If they have a little momentum swing the other way, they have to be able to find a way to regroup, find their game, and be able to make some shots. That's exactly what the Darts have done to capitalize now on this 19-point lead.
Full timeout called by Curtis Hulse. We'll take it with them. 45-26 in favor of Davis. You're watching Davis basketball on Game Night Live Rewind, and presented by Heidemann & Associates and our friends at WGU. Welcome back to Clearfield High School here at Clearfield, Utah. The score 45-26 in favor of the Davis Darts. Alexander Tumulip alongside my broadcast partner, Nathan Thatcher. Olympus High graduate, I might add.
That's right. Love to represent.
Whose alma mater, by the way, played against Davis earlier this year. I want you to know how good those two teams actually were, Nathan. Olympus's only loss this season was by 3 points, and it was against these Davis Darts.
Yeah, that's exactly right. These are two basketball powerhouses in the state of Utah. I was fortunate enough to be able to witness some of the greatest Utah high school basketball ever played in the year of 17-18 with a lot of great shooters. Davis seems to be very similar to that team that I witnessed just a few years back.
And they're showing you why right now is a foul committed there. And that will send Sawyer Cottrell to the line, the second team foul against Clearfield. Davis took 7 free throws in the first half. This will be their 8th and 9th of the game. And Sawyer Cottrell rattles in the first. I'd like to remind you, you can follow KSL Game Night Live Rewind on social media all season long. You can follow them on Twitter, Instagram, at GNL Rewind. You can also find them on Facebook for all the latest news, stats, and highlights that only Dusty and Dane can give you. That's GNL Rewind on Twitter, Instagram, and find them on Facebook. Cottrell hits both, and this is now the largest lead that Davis has had tonight. It's 21. 16-11 the score is here in the third quarter. Gardner matched up against Eyrig, and that is smacked out of bounds by Sunderland. He'll stay here. Clock reads 1:28 here in the gym.
When the pace of the game is this slow, it's very easy to become stagnant on offense, right? Like I said, because you don't have a time limit, you're going to want to try and draw out the play, but you don't want to stand still. You got to keep moving and make sure that you find the good shot that you're looking for.
Pass it inside to Mitchell. And a much-needed basket there for the Falcons. With a minute to go, as the lead cut to 19 here for the Darts.
They're probably going to want to pick up the pressure with this big of a deficit with so little time left.
Counted on the bucket for Henry Eyrig. Another round one for the Davis Darts, their third one tonight. And now Davis with a chance to lay a 50-piece here on Clearfield.
Those are huge momentum swingers because you've got a lot of things going against you, right? First, you have the made basket, you add the foul, and the potential for another point. That's just a no-go for what you want to have happening to you on defense.
50-28 in favor of Davis. Here's Trace Hansen to Dawson Gardner. And likely, Clearfield will try to hold it here as long as they can for the final possession. Cotter along the baseline, back to Gardner, sees a lane.
Beautiful offensive scheme that time. That's kind of what we saw at the beginning of the third quarter. They're able to bring it back right before the end.
Sunderland drives, kicks it out, Garf extra pass, Cottrell, bingo! 53-30. And with 5 and with 4, Hansen will come down the floor. Is he going to get it off? He does at the buzzer. It's no good. That's the end of the third quarter. And so thus, we head to the fourth, Nathan. I think this is pretty much what we thought it would be.
Yeah, that quarter, Davis said, anything you can do, I can do better. And that's exactly reflected in the score we have, with Darts being up by 23 points.
The Darts are indeed up by 23 points. But we'll still be here when the fourth quarter rolls around. Won't you be as well? We hope you will. We'll be back after this message from WGU. On the other side of this break, you're watching Davis basketball on Game Night Live Rewind. Welcome back to Clearfield High School here in Clearfield, Utah. Alexander Tumulip and Nathan Thatcher with you here. Well, Nathan, looking down here at the student section in front of us, they still haven't lost their spirit for the night. That's great to see.
Hey, that's what we love about high school basketball. It's all about the energy in every home court advantage, right? That's just what makes high school basketball so amazing. Obviously, Clearfield, not the greatest of teams, right, in the region of 6A, but of course, students always got to show up for their team.
Well, I'll tell you who's showing up right now as we start the fourth quarter. With 6:41 to go in the quarter, Pleasant Grove is leading Skyridge 36-32. And that one looks like it might come down to the wire.
Yeah, we got some tight games on our hands besides this one.
Meanwhile, if you're just wondering, over on Game Night Live Rewind 1, Copper Hills is leading Bingham 48-47. They're just underway in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the Davis Starts trying to put their exclamation point down on a dominant performance here against Clearfield as that ball is kicked out of bounds. It will stay with Clearfield with 7:37 left in the ball game. Well, I'll be off to Lone Peak on Friday for the doubleheader up there. And that is shaping up to be a good one, Nathan. I mean, you got number 1 in the girls RPI taking on number 3 in the girls RPI as Boston Willard goes up and lays it in. There are some big matchups across the entire state this week, especially on our network.
Yeah, just like I said, there's going to be some crucial and key matchups going into the postseason. Everyone's going to be fighting for something, whether that be a high seed, a spot in the bubble. Everything is on the line. So let's see what teams show up, which teams don't, before we head into tournament time.
And as we said, KSLSports.com's Game Night Live Rewind will be your home for all of the state tournament action as Rex Sunderland knocks down the 3. And this now is the largest lead for Davis tonight, 58-32. With 6 3/4 minutes left to go here in the game.
I think at this point, obviously, we know what the standing is going to be come the end of the game. I just think both teams need to have some sort of semblance of momentum going into their next matchups.
Rex Sunderland with the exclamation point off a great feed from Garf. And the Darts have breached 60. Hansen tries to answer back. He certainly can. 60-35 with 6 and 13 seconds left in the fourth.
Obviously, there's no such thing as a moral victory in sports, but you just got to make sure that you find good looks and try and have some decent momentum going into your last game of the regular season before the postseason.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second here, Nathan, as Cottrell hits another 3.
Wow, they're heating up from deep.
Yeah, they sure are now. Davis will play Fremont on Thursday to close out the season. Clearfield's going to have to play Farmington on Thursday to close out their season. I mean, we saw what happened for both these teams. I mean, for both these teams, there's still something at stake on Thursday. I mean, Davis had Fremont beat them. One of their 2 losses earlier this season was against the Silver Wolves. But meanwhile, if you're Clearfield, this really isn't going to help your worries a lot if you're Curtis Hulse. I mean, you're 24th on the bubble, and Granger's coming up behind you very quickly. There are going to be plenty of sleepless nights this week if the Falcons cannot win against Farmington on Thursday. I mean, it's coming down to the last couple of games.
Yeah, Alex, that's exactly right. I just think that both of those reasons that you mentioned are reasons to show up and play your hardest game, right? I think it's a little bit more so for Clearfield, right? Because especially, you're not only playing for revenge like Davis is, you're playing for a spot in the postseason. You're playing for more playing time, and that's big. So I'm going to be interested to see how Clearfield responds next game, right? We saw some good moments from them tonight against Davis, but obviously I want to see how they're going to finish off this season and see if they can try and get a seed come tournament time.
And as we're on that subject right now, don't forget that Bingham's opponent's winning percentage is much, much stronger, almost 600 of percentage stronger than Davis is right now. So you're right. I mean, there is a lot of pressure on the Darts to keep winning and keep dominating at a high level like they are right now. Because as we saw earlier this year against sorry to bring it up, but against your alma mater, when I called that Olympus game, they barely got away with it down the stretch, and they couldn't get away with it against Fremont. And so there is no real margin for error for Davis. They cannot afford to take any of the teams lightly they have in the schedule, whether it's in the playoffs or in the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, basketball is a game of runs, whether that be in scoring or in terms of games played. So obviously, you got to be able to make sure that you're playing at a consistent level, especially in February and March.
Get back to the action here as Davis is leading 65-37 with 4:42 left here in the fourth. Here's Peyton Cotter out front. Cotter into the paint. Hiddle looks, steps through, back out. Purser against Painter. And stolen by Sunderland. They might have numbers the other way, the Darts. Back it comes to Willard. Willard puts on the brakes. Sunderland wide open. That time can't get it to go. Tipped out. And chased down by Dawson Gardner. 4 minutes and 13 seconds left in the game. As we said, Clearfield will play Farmington on Thursday. Davis will play Fremont Thursday to close out the regular season. Sunderland into the paint. Somehow got it back off his own foot. Willard into the paint. Can't get it to go. Tries to go back up strong, and instead he'll bring it back out to Cottrell out front. And eventually we're going to get a timeout called by Chad Sims, and it is yet another full one, and we'll take it with them. 3:42 to go in the fourth quarter. Your score is Davis 65, Clearfield 37. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of high school sports. This is Davis basketball. Game Night Live Rewind. Welcome back to Clearfield. I'd like to remind you at the conclusion of the fourth quarter, Nathan and I will be selecting our choice for the Heidemann and Associates Player of the Game. You can find out more about Heidemann and Associates by obtaining a free consultation available to all Game Night Live Rewind viewers at utah.law. 65-37 our score here as Davis about to pick up their 21st victory of the season. They've reached the 20-win plateau for the third straight season under Chad Sims. And as we said, this likely keeps them in the running for a #1 seed. With the Bingham Miners currently in a dogfight against Copper Hills and Skyridge giving the #3 Pleasant Grove Vikings all they can handle. As the Falcons come out in a 2-3 zone here. Painter into the post, goes up strong, count it, and one.
That's exactly how you're supposed to attack the zone defense, right? Find the middle, and then of course Painter's got the athleticism to finish at the back at 4. What do you guess? Another and one.
67-37. Well, Nathan, I've covered this Davis team all season long as it looks like Chad Sims is going to empty the bench here with about 3 minutes to go. Who do you think really is the front runner right now in not in Region 1, but specifically in 6A? Because a lot of people feel it's Davis and Bingham who are 1-2 right now. But are these really the two favorites, or do you feel like there's a team that could come up from behind and potentially match up very well with these two teams, Davis and Bingham?
You know, obviously when it's high school postseason, there's going to be some surprises, and I think that's what's beautiful about the game. I don't doubt that we're going to see a lower seed maybe come up with a win in the first round, but just speaking from pure talent and just a record, I just think this Davis team is too good on offense and on defense. I love the chemistry that I'm seeing from this Davis team, and I just think that thing isn't really going to go away come postseason time. You have to be able to, like I said, find your identity when it matters, because when you get to the postseason, you lose, you're done.
Right, exactly.
And so I think Davis is going to be able to make sure that they know how to play their game. I just think they're going to be an obvious favorite, just like you said with Bingham. So let's see how it kind of shakes out. But like I said, you can never count any team out when they get to the postseason. They made it there, which means they have some semblance of a great team.
Well, if there were a team that could potentially give Davis or Bingham trouble, if there was a lower-seeded team that's like, say, below in the top 5 or maybe the top 10 or something like that, which team would you consider would have the best shot of matching up with this Davis team, or even with Bingham, or maybe even both?
Man, that's a great question, Alex. You know, I'm not really sure. Maybe I'm sounding like a Davis bias here, but I just don't know if there really is a team that can truly match up. Like I said, I think when it comes down to becoming an underdog and then trying to beat someone as good as the Darts, I think for me it's going to come down to coaching rather than players.
Right.
You have to come up with a really good scheme because when you have a game as slow as it is at this level, it's all about what are the plays you're going to drop on the offensive and defensive side. So for me, more than any other player that it's going to come down to in the state of Utah to try and beat this Darts team, for me it's going to come down to Coach Holsey over here on the Falcons side to try and see if maybe they can try and come up with something good, right? You need to have a coach that can try and outcoach Chad Sims. He's a great coach. Obviously, his record speaks for itself, but I just don't think it really comes down to the players come tournament time. It's going to come down to schemes.
You know, and that's often what we talk about as Boston Willard will step to the free throw line. There was a foul on the last play. We have a minute 57 here on the clock as Chad Sims has emptied the bench. And that's what we kind of talked about in the open, you know. It does come down to matters of execution in the playoffs, and Chad Sims has been there. I mean, you look at his record in 7 seasons, 151 wins, now going on 152 probably after tonight. You're right, but you're right. There really might not be a quote-unquote team that might match up, but there may be a coach who may be able to match up with this Davis Darts team as far as Chad Sims schemes are concerned.
Yeah, and I think, obviously, in the first round, you're going to have a lot of time to prepare. So I'll be interested to see which underdog is matched up with the Darts and see what they can try and come up with to try and stop their offense. Obviously, Rex Sunderland is going to be a guy that you're going to try and have to control. I'm not really a coach, but I'm thinking if you really play a type of box and one, it seems like Davis is having a little bit of a struggle more with the zone. But if you're playing a man on Sunderland, I just think he's going to be the key to their postseason run. Obviously, being the leading scorer and obviously in a ton of categories for them, you're just going to have to try and control him, and then you can work your way down the line and see if you can try and hold back a lot of his teammates.
That will be the big question, I think, come playoff time that we'll have to answer for Davis, because I know people, as we approach 90 seconds to go, the bench has been empty. We'll just give you the 5 here on the floor really quick. Colby Wicker, 2. Max Jeppesen, 30. We just got the pass there from Cole Mullen and the turnover. Mike Boston Willard and Caden Eggett are the 5 for the Davis Darts. On the other side, Trace Hansen, James Barraza, Josh Laufiso, Jackson Vincent, and Ethan Lowry are the 5 bench emptiers here for Clearfield. Now, getting back to my point, it is something we're going to have to figure out come playoff time, because as we've seen in previous years, I mean, we've seen higher seeds give lower seeds give higher seeds all they can handle. I mean, even Layton last year was a 7 seed, and they almost beat this Davis team on their home floor. It was a 2-point game.
Yeah, I just think no matter what seed you have in the tournament, you have something to play for. And it's the same thing, a chance at the title. And I think especially if you're a lower seed, you're a little bit more grateful to be there, right? Because you're on the edge, you're on the border, but you made it in. But you have to make the most of your opportunity. That's, what makes everything about sports so great is it's a different game every night. And even though you have the same players, just like Davis a few nights ago didn't have the greatest of shooting nights, but they're still able to pull it out, it's always going to be a different game, and that's what makes basketball so great.
Final 20 seconds here on this Tuesday night from Clearfield. I want to thank all of you for being patient with us throughout the night with our problem streaming and all the stuff we went through, but the more important thing is we got it done tonight, folks. The final buzzer sounds, that's it, as the Davis Darts continue their domination of the Clearfield Falcons. As the Darts go to 21-1 on the season, they defeat Clearfield 70-37 here this evening. And with that, Nathan Thatcher, I'll turn it over to you for final thoughts.
I just think that Clearfield really tried to come out strong, and they were able to show some great things on the offensive side. But of course, you just can't really match up with the chemistry on Davis's side of the ball. I think both of these teams, like you said, they have a lot to play for in these final games of the regular season. But I'm really looking forward to the Darts run come postseason time.
Clearfield falls to 5-15. They're now 3-8 rather in region play. And they'll play Farmington Thursday. Davis will close out the season with Fremont on Thursday as well. So, Nathan, now let's do it. Let's pick our Heidemann and Associates player of the game, and I think we know who we're going with tonight.
Yeah, I think we both know that it's going to be Rex Sunderland on the Davis Darts. I think personally, on the Clearfield side of the ball, Austin Mitchell put up a great game. Down low, was able to put up some good shots, but Rex Sunderland, like I said many times in this broadcast, has just been a great player this entire season, leading his team in almost every statistical category, and he just looks like the captain that you want on your team when you're going into the 6A postseason. So that's going to be my pick.
Well, that's my pick too for Rex Sunderland as well. Well, Nathan, for all the problems we have with our broadcast, for all the streaming issues, and for the misnaming of the broadcasters that I did at the beginning, a grand foul up by myself. That was really fun. That was really fun, and it was good to be out here.
Yeah. High school basketball is always a great thing to witness, right? You're able to see the game in its purest form. You're able to slow it down, and I just think no matter the score, right, 70-37, we're able to witness some great basketball tonight, especially from the Davis Darts.
We did definitely witness that from the Davis Darts as they defeat the Clearfield Falcons 70-37. Nathan, good game. I'll see you next time.
That's right, Alex. We'll see you next time.
We want to thank all of our crew, especially Bill and Ethan Francis, for their tireless work being here this evening. We want to thank them for keeping our stream running and, of course, keeping our scoreboard running. And for Vince Francis off-site tonight, we've enjoyed having you all on. This has been a presentation of KSL Game Night Live Rewind's coverage of high school sports. Your home for the 2022 UHSAA 6A playoffs, presented by Mountain America Credit Union. Again, our final score, the Davis Darts 70, the Clearfield Falcons 37. For Nathan Thatcher, I'm Alexander Tumalev. Until we meet again, malama pono ke kahi, ike kahi. Take care of one another, everyone. Aloha and good night.